Good evening. It's time to go freewheeling once again. With me, I'm Siddharth Panayak Partnerkar. Thank you so much for joining me. And yes, we have an action packed lineup again on the show today because we are going to be talking about bikes for a change and not just any bikes, but really exciting, adrenaline racing kind of stuff. And so, of course, there's no prizes for guessing. For those of you who haven't seen all my posts about this already, we are talking about Ducati, and my guest today is the man at the helm of Ducati. Let me bring him in. Bipul Chandra, good evening and welcome to the show.
Hi Siddharth, good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I must tell you that, ever since you took charge at Ducati, it was just January, so it's not been that long, I know. We haven't even had the chance to meet in the physical world. So, this becomes an interesting way of sort of engaging for the first time. But thank you. Thank you for coming on the
Yes,
show.
no, it's technology coming to our help. So let's hope and wish that after this lockdown ends, we'll meet face to face. But in the meantime, let's meet in the virtual world.
Of course, and I look forward to that too. But you're right that we still have no, horizon on this in terms of when things might sort of change and end. And in the meanwhile, there's so much that's still happening that we certainly have lots to discuss with you. I must tell you that we'll be joined, and we are being joined by a live audience as well, and they'll have lots of questions for you as well. So thank you guys for joining in. I can see many of you are starting to say hello, and I see a lot of the regulars here as well. So thank you. It's great to see you guys, and they will, of course, have lots of questions for you, like I said. But let me start by first just getting a sense from you. Not in a million years would you have imagined a scenario like this. You take over a prestigious position, and then you're faced with all kinds of challenges, isn't it?
Uh, it has become very a favorite catchword of mine to say that it's baptism by fire.
Yeah.
So while giving the intro, you are very right that in January I have taken over this position, and since then something or the other has definitely come our way, and the going has not been that smooth as everyone would have wished for. But yes, everything has positives and negatives, and I believe this kind of situation is giving us a very different kind of learning, which we would not have received. So fine, we must look at the positive sides, and we are definitely getting a different way of working from home, like we are talking, connecting virtually, and finding options out of the various constraints of working from home life, everything. So that's fine. Positive things are there, and we must learn, as I said.
Oh, absolutely. So many things to learn. And in fact, I think, that's true across the board, whether it's the automobile industry, whether it's, the retail end of that industry, and then certainly, of
Mm.
course, for us in the media as well. We have tremendous learnings coming out of all of this. Tell me, though, that,
Yes.
there are so many sort of layers to this in terms of what all would have been happening at Ducati India, coordinating with what's happening, of course, with Ducati at the headquarters. Because if you think about the places which have taken the worst brunt of it, Italy certainly comes top of mind,
Mhm.
and then that particular
Yeah, yeah.
part of Italy too. So, how difficult has that been? To be able to coordinate with your regional as well as global headquarters as well.
Well, for Italy, it has been a very, very tough time. And Ducati is from northern Italy, which has been worst
Yeah.
hit. So I actually don't have any words to say the hard times people in Italy they have suffered from, and the kind of the grief of losing your near and dear ones, and the tough times they are still facing as such, I would say. So it's all very, very difficult. uh, but yes, there has been light at the end of the tunnel, and as you would have seen in the newspapers and media reports, day before yesterday, we have started our operations in
Yeah.
Bologna on a smaller scale. So while we are working with every possible protocol, safety protocol in the rule book given, so that's a small step towards getting life back to normal. And we have started productions in Borgo Panigale, which is our mother factory in Italy. So that's a nice thing to happen. And I'm sure in days to come, Italy would come back to the normal life. And same in India also, we would come back to normal life. Coming back to your point of coordinating between various offices, that has been very, very difficult. Primarily, everyone was on a very different mental note, mental level because of the situation we are having, and two, because of the different time zones. So it actually becomes somewhat trickier and cumbersome to get things moving into this time. And when half of the things you cannot do possibly,
Yeah.
because there are so many things for which you actually have to go out in the field to visit the dealership to meet the customers or something. So looking at all these constraints under the lockdown, it becomes difficult to manage things on a normal scale. But yes, we have tried to make best out of it, and at least we have done some certain plannings. Certain pending things have been completed, certain future plannings have been done, and the various situations which this COVID-19 has thrown up to us, so they have been tackled in certain professional way. So we are happy that we have utilized this time, and we are still utilizing this time in a positive way and a meaningful way.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that. What's that been like, especially for you and your colleagues here in India? What are some of the things that you have been up to in terms of the work from home, and also, besides the fact that you're doing it virtually and talking to each other, maybe through video calls, etc., or like this, but besides that, what's been the key priority?
Priority, the very, very first thing has been the safety of everyone concerned within us, within our family, whether it is with the Ducati India team or with the dealership team. So we are in regular touch with all of us within our team and with our dealerships also, through some people or the other. Either I'm talking to some of the people, or my colleagues are talking to some of the team members at the dealership. So we have been in regular touch, and we we are you can say we are aware on a daily basis what is the exact status of our dealership team and Ducati India team. So we are very happy to say that we all are safe out here, and none of us have any problem as such as related to COVID-19. So that has been the very, very first priority. And second, whatever jobs, as I said earlier, whatever works we had in our hand, we had tried to complete them. And there was certain planning part, which I would say that it takes a larger meaning under the heading of planning part. So we had completed some of the planning part, which related to the for us, actually, the year has started in January only. We follow the January to December schedule.
Yes.
So there were definitely certain planning part which were pending for this current year. So we had done those things, and now obviously the situation is not so conducive to business, but on a planning part, we are quite ready to handle the balance months, and we understand whenever the lockdown will open in India also, we shall be in a better position to tackle those times, whatever the pending months would be there or balance months would be there in the calendar year. So this is one part. And second part, uh, since we had recently closed our books in December, so some of the previous years work were pending related to administrative job. So those administrative jobs have also been completed, and now we are all geared up for the new year. So as I understand, or as I would say, share with all of you, that now we are almost on a balanced war footing. So uh, when and as and when the lockdown opens, we shall be starting with a uh, new zeal to work towards the balance part of the calendar year.
All right, that's very encouraging and very nice to know, because, of course, for us, mind starts working instantly towards product. So I think that's a very good note for me to bring in my colleague Preetham Bora, who is, of course, the man who brings us all of these exciting reviews, including the ones from Ducati. Hi, Preetham.
Hi, Pritham.
Hi, Bipul. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, man. How are you?
What the ideal time for good, good, good. Not the ideal time for us motorcyclists sitting at home and dreaming of getting out on the bikes outside.
Actually, I would say motorcycles are the best way for social distancing. You take off your bike alone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, so, this work from home, how do companies, brands like yours, Ducati specifically, how do you manage working from home?
See, it's actually difficult for us to manage from home because, as I was talking a couple of minutes ago, there is only a certain part of job you can do from home or from the office itself. The balance part of our business definitely includes going out into the field, going to the dealership, going to the racetracks, going to the off the beaten track, meeting customers, talking to them. So this is one part which we all are missing, which is a serious and definite dent into our entire business thought process. And we are earnestly looking at the earliest opening of the lockdown so that we can again start meeting our customers and talking to them. and keeping life or taking life forward out in the field where we actually belong to. So, well, administrative part is one thing, but the action part we are definitely missing, and that's tough.
Yeah, that's got to be very
Now,
tough.
has this?
Now go ahead, Pritam.
Yeah, please go on.
Mhm.
So, my question was with this unexpected situation that we're in right now, it must have put a spanner in the works for all product launches, all marketing and customer engagement activities that you may have planned as well after taking
Yeah.
over.
Yes, you're very right in saying this, and all our plans they have got delayed. In fact, it would be actually now not the right time to take up the names of all the products we were planning to bring to India in a phased manner, because they all have got delayed by at least a quarter or so. Because we have two factories, one at Thailand and one at the Italy Borgo Panigale, and both the factories have been severely hit. I understand today or yesterday only the Thai government has extended the lockdown up to 31st of May. So that's another issue for the entire business community now, who all are dependent upon the Thai supply chain. There would be rather, I must say that way, there would be many other organizations, companies who would be getting their supplies from Thailand. So that's an issue for all of them, including us. So, and in India, we get our supplies from Thailand only. There are very few bikes like V4R, which we get from Italy directly. So, Italy coming back to life and Thailand is still closed. It's tough for us. The entire timeline for the launch of bikes has gone awry. We are now looking at the end of Q2. Q2 for us. That would be, or rather, no. We are now looking at what I should say. Q2 and Q3 somewhere in the month of in the quarter of Q3, that we would be launching our first bikes now. So it has definitely gone ahead from the planned schedule, and the further bikes coming also, they have gone ahead as such. So some of the bikes which we had planned in this year, probably they would not be coming to India this year now. So they have got shifted to 2021 now, which we very clearly see as today itself. So that's a big dent to us, both in terms of business activity and in terms of our customer, the bikes getting available to our customers that way.
Okay, I know you mentioned that you would have loved to share some names of those bikes with us. There's been a lot of talk about some of the upcoming products. Now, I appreciate the fact that specific things like dates, or especially what you mentioned, the timelines that have all gone all over the place because of what has happened. That I'm not going to push you on, but the bikes themselves, I mean, the community that looks up to what you're doing, and some of your core customer base, they would certainly get excited if they knew, for example, things that they don't know at this stage, or something for them to look forward to. So, is there something you can share in terms of the bikes? I'm sure Pritam has more inputs on this as well.
I'm sure Pritam would be having all the details. We intend to come out with a super bike this year. Then we intend to that would be the first bike which we intend to come out with. Then we plan to come out with a multi-strada kind of bike, and then we would be coming out with a heritage. So at least these 2-3 models we are looking at in this year, and some of the bikes which many customers were eagerly looking forward to, they have got shifted to 2021. Street Fighter being one of them. I am purposefully speaking on Street Fighter because I have received many queries, many questions regarding Street Fighter coming to India this year. But as I see, we are not in a position to launch Street Fighter this year because of all these COVID delays. So now we understand 2021 is the correct time frame for that bike.
So that's
So I think that's a proper direction forward.
Okay, so I'll go one little bit further and speculate that it's the Panigale V2 that you're talking about, the super bike.
Well, yes.
Okay, so
that's why I was trying to get the words out from you.
that's fair. I mean, I'm very happy to do the speculating here, as is Pritam, I'm sure. But specifically, what we have seen is that a lot of your, especially when Ducati first stepped into India with its own business and not through an importer, etc. It obviously started small. But today we find the
Yeah.
situation is that whatever you're doing globally, in fairly quick time, you start to see all that action here in India too. Would you say that that's
Yes.
important, both from the perspective of your business as well as the way that your consumer sees it?
Yeah, you are very bang on. You are bang on saying in this thing that whatever we launch globally, that very soon that comes to India, and the basic reason is as of today the Indians are very we have become very evolved. Uh, Whatever way we take it, whether through the means of communication or through our global travels or our family members and friends living abroad. So, whatever way we take it, the communication has become very fast. And we, as of today, we cannot say that some certain bikes are not meant for India or they will come to India after 3 years by the time there is a new generation coming up in Europe or US. So, that is actually unfair with the Indian customers now. Keeping that in mind, we are very, you know, we believe in this fact that whatever we are launching on a global scale, that must come to Indian customers very well. It may take a certain time for homologation or certain times for procedural clearance because we bring CBUs. So homologation is a different word altogether. So procedural delays are also somewhere, or sometimes it may happen that we are supplying to bike to other parts of the world from Italy factory, and it takes certain time for a start of production in Thailand factory. So whatever those delays are there, those are very mystical things, small items in the entire business frame. So our endeavor is to get the bikes ASAP to Indian markets as such.
All right. And in terms of priority, Preetham, I'm sure you have, a couple of things that you would like to add here that you would like to see coming in.
Yes.
I could see you itching to go.
Yes, you mentioned, Bipul, I missed the first part of your reply, the earlier reply. You mentioned on the product side, but I did get the multi-strata part and the heritage model. So did you mention a third model also? That was the Panigale V2 we're talking about?
Yeah, Panigale V2 will be the first bike we intend to bring to India this year. Then we shall be going ahead with a multi-strada. Then we have a heritage. So these are some of the product lines we intend to bring to Indian market.
Okay, so multi-strada, I would assume, is the 1260 GT. That's the one that we don't have so far. Is that correct?
No,
Is it
no. I will say no to that question, but I will not divulge further details right now.
Okay, I'd say the new 950 then, the multi-strada.
That's your guess.
And on the heritage side, we already have a question on that, but you have the Scrambler 1100 Pro and the Scrambler 1100 Sport, which were unveiled and not available in India so far. So how's the Scrambler 1100 doing as a product in India, and do you see scope for that 1100 Pro and 1100 Sport? And somebody had posted a question. I missed it. Hemant Kumar had posted the question about the 62, the entry-level Scrambler. Do you see a business possibility of such a product for India market and price positioning specifically?
Okay, so there are three questions in one question. I'm getting reminded of my 10th and 12th standard ABC. Every question has 2 marks now, or 5 marks.
We can give you 10. Don't worry.
So first and foremost, 1100 Pro has been received very well in foreign markets, foreign as compared to India. So in on a global scale, the 1100 Pro has been received very well. The entire experience has been tremendous, and we are looking forward for a very good business run for that model in all of the markets. In India, Scrambler has been one of our mainstays in sales. In fact, without putting a number to the retails, I would say Scrambler is our largest contributor to the retail sales in India. And 1100 has also been a good contributor to the entire Scrambler range. So we are definitely bullish towards bringing all the various and new models available on a global level to Indian markets. It's to borrow from the name of a book. So let's when the bikes come to India. But yes, we are bullish on getting all the bikes to India, because our experience says there are customers for 800 also and 1100 also. So in fact, 1100 customers are far more serious towards their biking, because for some reason they are far more attached to their bikes. So that is a good sign for us. That's one thing. Now coming back to 62. As of today, you are aware that we don't have any manufacturing facility in India. And as per the rules of the government of India, we cannot import any bike which is less than 800cc.
800cc, yes.
So while there might be a business case for that bike, we are not in a position to bring that bike to India as much as we want. Either we get a different rule from the government of India, or we intend, and not only intend, we actually start manufacturing in India. So in the recent future, I can't see any of them happening. The way the market of these bikes, let us say anything from 350cc to 100cc is going. So I think there is definitely a business case, and there is a lot of scope in that segment, and manufacturers are definitely bringing bikes into that segment, and there are so many brands. Still, there is lots of white space wherein we all can do well.
All right. A quick question that I want to jump in with is coming off of what we're getting from one of our viewers right now, Chetan. But I'm going to sort of add to it and then ask you what he's asking. The point is about how you see a lot of manufacturers now, global bike powerhouses, who are getting into trying to spread themselves into different niches or different parts of the market where they never existed before. And a large part of that gets concentrated on lower displacement or smaller bikes, which is again something that many brands weren't doing. And you have a wide variety of reasons why they're doing it. Emerging markets tops that reasons list. Now, the question is about TVS having acquired Norton. Triumph has a partnership with Bajaj. So given this kind of a scenario, this sort of backdrop, I don't expect you to comment on the rivals here, but what do you see as being then a way forward for Ducati, given some of the restrictions that you just mentioned?
In fact, I'm very happy for all the companies coming into this segment, because on a very different note, if I say, that's paving way for customers to upgrade to the higher displacement bikes. So that's actually a very positive news for me. As many companies coming into the space, as many models coming into that space, and especially into less than 800cc. So if a customer who has already tried certain bike of a different brand of a lower cc, lower displacement bike, then his urge, his natural tendency would be to upgrade. And therein Ducati is rock solid there. So I am sure with this kind of industry growth, with this kind of many manufacturers and players, brands, models coming into the picture, we all are well placed. As I said, we are not into a position to comment on the business plan of future. But as of today, we are definitely not going to be there in the less than 800cc segment for immediate future. Long term, I cannot comment over here. That's a pretty capital kind of decision, capital intensive decision. So I would not comment on that. But yes, we are looking at the organic growth of the market, and we are happy with that.
That's fair. But I know that you're not going to be able to give me specifics, and I respect that. There's a question from Pal Cam who's saying, what are Ducati India's plans to localize? Will there be some kind of local manufacturing base in the future? And I know that that's exactly what you were hinting at, that in the future, if you are to look at smaller displacements, it almost preconditions itself to having some sort of a manufacturing or assembling base locally.
Yes.
Is that something that at least got discussed, or it continues to get discussed, about more a question then of when rather than if?
I think it is difficult to answer this question over here, because when and if both are very, very tricky question, very typical questions, which definitely they have been discussed at the highest level possible in Ducati. And at this moment, I find, unfortunately, I find myself not in the right position to comment on this. But if and when, both are questions which definitely have been, which will remain, and we need to find an answer. So at this moment, I can only say there is no immediate plan of localizing any manufacturing in India, but you never know. As India has earlier 5 years plan, so we also have certain plans. So it can be there in future, but not now. Immediately, definitely.
No, that of course, I understand that, and but still, we can live in hope, right, Preetham?
Yes, hope is one very important word which drives the entire world, including Ducati.
Especially right now. Preetham?
Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I seem to have missed
No,
it.
I know you had a question, so I'm asking you to jump in.
The question, you mean, product side, we talked about a multi-strider, a scrambler, and a Panigale, of course. So you already mentioned the Street Fighter V4 is. Now, how has this whole COVID-19 situation affected Ducati India's plans, especially at a juncture like BS6, Euro 5, whatever you call it? You already transitioned. Were you already out of stock of BS4 existing stock? How have the dealers faced it? Everything is in a lockdown right now. Do you have existing stock? Are dealers worried? Have you been helping out dealers in any way?
Yes, there are certain stocks. It would be unfair to say that we are out of stock. There are certain stocks. I'm sure dealers have already found certain customers. So they're in various stages of discussion of getting the bikes retailed off to the customers. And I'm sure we shall find a solution to the entire situation at the end of the lockdown and everything. We are with our dealerships, and it's a long-term relationship. So small situations like COVID-19 or small lockdown, these things, they don't hamper your long-term business relationships. So whatever support our dealerships require, we are there with them. We have already supported on certain counts, and there are certain supports which are open-ended. As and when the situation will present itself to us, we shall support our dealerships. So those open-ended situations are not, they cannot be quantified during a discussion, but yes, as and when they will come, we'll look forward to them.
Now,
yeah, Pratham, yeah.
Yeah. And now you've already launched a Ducati Cares program.
Yes. I was coming to
on safety of customers and employees alike. Yeah. And with this Cares program, which of course the basic premise is social distancing, even when working in a workshop, working in a dealership, customer walking into a dealership. How will your marketing, your things like DRE, the Dream Tour, the DRE Racetrack Academy, DRE Off-Road Days, the events that we've also, taken part in, participated in. How do you see the COVID-19 situation affecting or impacting such events in future?
First, I will spend a couple of lines on Ducati Cares Safety First program. It's our global program which we have launched at every dealership, and including our own offices. So where we are saying that at every touch point wherein we meet our colleagues or we meet our customers, there shall be a proper protocol which shall be followed, like providing masks to the customers and to the employees, providing sanitizing gels, keeping social distancing, keeping all the surfaces where anyone can touch, whether it is doorknobs, handles, even bikes, tables, whatever. So keeping all those touch places sanitized and clean for anyone and everyone. So this is our premise, that we across the globe, whether it's Ducati dealership or Ducati office, we endeavor to provide a clean and sanitized working area to our team members and to our customers, so that they can enjoy their bikes in complete peace of mind. At the location I'm entering into is a safe location. So that's our premise. We are working towards that. That's one thing. And second, the question which you have raised is a very, very valid question. And till now, since we have not done any DRE or any racetrack days after this lockdown, needless to mention that point. So I will not say that we have exact solution to that. But yes, the way we are looking at Safety First program, Ducati Care Safety First program, so some of those lines would definitely be carried over on our racetracks also, and during DREs also. At least in DREs, when people are riding on track or on road or off-road, wherever, so there is definitely a social distancing as such. On track, racetracks, it becomes somewhat more difficult because the area is less and probably the people out there are more. So we need to strictly follow these guidelines of using mask and everything, gloves and sanitizing gels. So this is something which we need to now bring into our normal daily routine. Everywhere during this COVID, a very common catchphrase has come up that this is the new normal. I have also been bitten by that same bug, so it's the new normal now, and we need to carry on with this thing that we cannot live without mask and all such paraphernalia in our normal day-to-day life. So we have to use and follow such guidelines. I believe that would be what we will be doing during our DREs and track days. And if something further comes up our way, we learn something new in the way, we will definitely incorporate them as well.
Bipul, I have to ask you, when you talk about all
Yeah,
these experiential activities, it's really got stepped up the last couple of years, right? I mean, we've seen
yeah,
Ducati becoming very proactive about all of these experience-related activities. And of course, you've got the response for it too. I think both in terms of the
correct.
excitement that it generates, and then also, of course, the sales that eventually follow. But it creates a bigger fan base for the brand. Given that, two sort of topics that come out of that for me. The first is the more immediate one, that how then, and King Shuk has asked the same question, how do you then keep your
Mhm,
customer base or fan base interested and
mhm.
excited during this lockdown period? And then the second topic I'll come to after you answer this.
Well, that's a very valid question because during the lockdown we cannot do any of the experiential things what we have
Right.
been doing during last couple of years. And yes, thanks to our participants, we have got a huge and tremendous result out of that. That has actually given a very good boost to the brand Ducati. This time, we are highly and super active on the social media. I'm sure anyone who is following us on Facebook and Insta everywhere, you'll find a lot many things coming out from Ducati. So we had a quiz kind of thing wherein you can join the dots. You can say that's a way of informing our viewers that you can join the dots and find out the names of the bike components. So that's one thing we had come up. We had a video wherein you need to catch your Ducati, so that's something, and so on and so forth. Every day. Then we had a very good series coming up wherein we had made, we have changed some of our communications which were in tune with stay at home. So if we had earlier said that Ducati will cater to your wanderlust, now we are saying through our
Yeah.
message that kindly control your wanderlust. So that's when we are changing our message. So that's a catchy phrase to talk to our customers. Then we had a very nice series of how to take care of your bikes. So every couple of days we are showing certain information on how you should take care of your bike. So like if your bike has been standing, or obviously during the lockdown it's in your garage only. So if possible, put it on paddock to get the to save the flat spot on the tire or something or the other. How to take care of your chain, how to take care of the normal bike, how to take care of the paint, how to wash your bike. So we have been issuing certain information, and you can say on a lighter note, guidelines through our social media. So none of the day passes by when our viewers, when our followers will not find something new coming from Ducati. So that's a way of connecting up with the customers, I believe. And I think the way our people have responded, that is very very encouraging. So I understand we are fairly successful in our way of touching base with our customers.
All right. And the second topic, like I was saying, that comes out of that is
Yeah.
the wanderlust mention that you had. Yes, you mentioned that the Scrambler range continues to then sort of dominate your overall sales portfolio, but going forward, and especially as you can start to look at maybe some of the smaller displacements, how much of an interest has there been, or a growing interest have you seen over the last, especially 18-month period, on the multi range?
Mhm.
Because obviously that becomes, we've seen that with some of the other brands as well, where adventure as a category, just getting out and, your bike, go anywhere. That's kind of been a new thing for India, and a lot of people have caught on to it beautifully because at the back of their minds they're also looking at these bikes and thinking perfect for Indian conditions. So, is that something that you see yourself being able to build on?
See, I will take a different route to answer this question. To sum up the entire reply, we are very happy with the sales of 1260 multi 1260 Enduro, which was launched last year only. So I think you can read between the lines that yes, when we are very happy with the sales of 1260 Enduro, then we are definitely looking towards positively towards the multi-range. And as you have rightly mentioned, the people have caught the fancy of these kind of bikes. But there are so many people who are looking forward. And uh, going back, couple of questions, our experiential. So last year we had a Royal Rajasthan ride, then we had a Spiti ride. All these things put together, they have actually uh, put us in a very, very commanding position for multi-range also. And people are actually coming to our showrooms. They are looking at multi-range of bikes, and as per their choice and their preferences, they are buying the various models. So whether it is 1260S or 1260 Enduro, even we have delivered Bikes Peak also in India last year. So there are customers for every brand in our portfolio, and we are very happy with the way multi has panned. And as Siddharth was just saying that that's one important point, and that's why this year in the new emission time frame we are launching one of the multis. So you can understand that it becomes an important part for our business portfolio.
You're not going to say which one, I'm guessing,
Okay,
just
so
yet.
Bipul, I have a question.
I'll invite you. Sorry, Pritam. I'll invite you
That's
to the launch of the bike.
that's fair. I'll hold you to that. Pritam, go
I
ahead.
have a question. I have a question. I have a question in response to the customer response to the multi-range that you mentioned, specifically the 1260 Enduro, and of course we're looking forward to the 950 when it's launched. But
Yeah.
when you see this sizable amount of multi-strada fans, particularly customers who are at dealership to buy a multi-strada, are these customers, do you have a profile for these customers? Are these customers coming from other brands like Triumph or maybe something else? Or are these primarily Ducati customers who are jumping families, say from a Scrambler to a Multistrada?
It will not be fair to comment on the migration from other brands, but yes, in a nutshell, I will say we are getting both kind of customers who are jumping brands also and who are changing families within Ducati itself. So we are getting a sizable number of customers from different companies also. So I think I'll limit my answer to that, but yes, both ways we are getting customers.
Okay.
You've been at your diplomatic best, and I think full marks to you on that. Your comms team will be very happy. but but no, I
See,
understand. Go ahead.
uh, in my view, all organizations are very good, all companies are very good, and there are managers like me everywhere. So it's not fair to badmouth anyone anywhere. They all
No,
are
of
good
course.
bikes. Yes, I believe my bike is the best one.
Yeah, that's understandable, of course.
So
Go ahead, Pritam.
another multi question. So the response to the 1260 Enduro and the 1260S that you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
is that the primary reason to go all guns blazing with the new Multistrada 950 launch that you're talking about?
I was not talking about any particular bike's launch. Pritam, I read my questions very thoroughly. Or in this case, I hear my questions very thoroughly and clearly. So yes, we are definitely going forward for a multi-launch, looking at our various experiences with the 950 and 1260 families last year and over last years. So that's one of the primary reason. And I'll ask you to keep on waiting for the exact model to get launched.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask you though, speaking of launches, one thing we've seen from Ducati in the past few months, I think your last couple of launches have been sort of digital launches. They weren't, the usual press conference route. Now, in many ways, that becomes even more relevant or more obvious. So there's a question that came in about, that some of the premium bike manufacturers are launching their products online. So is that likely
Yeah.
to be the route for your next launch as well, Bipul?
I understand. As I said, it's the new normal now. So I understand going digital is the primary way as of today. Uh, it saves you lots of hassles during this COVID-19. I'm talking specifically. It is not about any other time frame, but it saves you lots of hassles about social distancing norms and probably preparing for such issues and all those things. So when you are going digital, you are in a position to showcase your bike in the best way possible. Probably give a multimedia kind of presentation to everyone, which actually shows the bike in the right environment. And this is one thing which I would be doing in a normal brick and mortar launch also. So if you and me, everyone get together at a location and launch the bike, so probably I'll show you a video about how the bike behaves in the different environment. So I'll put up that multimedia presentation online. I'll showcase the bike online, and I will declare the prices online. So it is only the bonhomie which will miss. It is the physical touch and feel of the bike which will miss during a digital launch. But I understand this shall be one of the important pillars going forward.
All right. The other question that's come in is about motorsport. Things like MotoGP. There was a time where it seemed like you would be also looking at bringing some of that to India. I understand that the market situation has changed dramatically, and of course, let's not forget that I can put it bluntly that there's been absolutely no such support from the government side in any case to try and promote any of this. But is that something that remains close to your heart, given that globally as well, it's something that is so important to Ducati?
Yeah, racing is our DNA. So when I talk about Ducati, it cannot go without racing. We have a Ducati Corse team altogether. So racing is Ducati and Ducati is racing, no doubts about it. Last year we brought Dovi also to India.
Yeah.
But yes, getting an entire MotoGP schedule to India and having a race out here, that's a very different ballgame altogether. And probably not alone. Ducati cannot do it alone. Lot many supports need to be there, infra support and procedural supports, administrative support from the government, and then MotoGP team, the Dorna and everyone, they all have to come into the picture. So that's a very long story and a very tough job. But as and when possible, Ducati will definitely bring all our heroes and pilots, everyone to India, and they will try to showcase the best possible bikes and best possible technologies to our customers in India as and when possible.
But do you find people are receptive to that? I mean, do people respond very favorably to it? And by that I mean people in general and not just your hardcore Ducati
Yeah.
fans.
The response to the visit of Dovi was amazing.
Yeah, actually we got great response too on that.
Yeah, so that was the last large scale MotoGP activity we did in India in recent past, and that's the reference point. So going by that reference point, I'm sure the customers are definitely going to give us a very, very good and tremendous support in case we do any of such thing in future also. We are highly appreciative of the fact that customers have, all the people have given us a big thumbs up for this. Many thanks to all of them.
Pritam?
Yeah, I had one question. Over the past year, couple of years, we've seen the peak of premium bike sales in India seems to have slightly petered down over the past couple of years. The volumes, the interest among the customer base do not seem to be as much as what it used to be maybe 3-4 years ago. Do you see another upswing with the post-COVID-19 scenario, or do you think the peak is already over as far as the sales and volumes are concerned in industry?
I will answer, or I will try to answer this in a different way. If you go by the typical marketing handbook, so there are early converts who wish to get the things at the first phase itself. So when the superbike industry was initiated in India a couple of years ago, so I'm sure I was not associated with superbikes at that point of time, but I'm sure whatever little understanding of marketing I have, there definitely would have been certain early converts who would have bought the bike, and that would have started the or initiated the superbike industry in the country. Then some of them would have changed either brands, companies, or models, families. Some of the new customers would have come in. Some of the older customers, they would have preferred to continue with their bikes. So in a normal business situation, if a small lull has come into the entire picture, that's predictable, that's okay, not a very big challenge. And the way we all have been sitting at our homes, keeping our wanderlust under control. So I'm sure after COVID-19 and the way all companies would be coming up with the new BS6 bikes, there would definitely be an upswing in the industry. It may take certain time for the all the things to become normal. So I cannot comment on time frame, but my gut feeling is looking at the lull in the market or the way people have been asked to stay in their homes, the way new bikes would be coming across manufacturing bases. So there definitely has to be an upswing in the market, and we are looking at positive times in next couple of months.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions which are, I just want you to give me the top of mind answer.
So all these are easier questions earlier before.
Say that again.
I said you are saying you are going to ask me tough questions. So the earlier questions were easier ones.
No, I didn't say tough. I'm saying I'm going to ask you questions where I just want your top of mind answer.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
I think
heard
the
it
tough
now.
questions are over. I would like to believe that the tough questions are over. So no, basically, given your involvement with the brand, I can understand some of these answers may be biased, but still I will ask you that
Yeah,
your favorite Ducati current production model.
1260
Okay.
multi.
Your favorite Ducati from the past, if there was one when you weren't part of the brand necessarily.
Mm, then probably 916.
Okay. Your, let's say, I know it's a short tenure that you've had so far, but in this short time, the one big high that you can think of in terms of your tenure. You can even include your previous role, of course.
Uh, I learned how to ride the bike in a professional way.
Yeah, okay. Which one was that? Which model was that?
I tried my I have already tried my hands on all the Ducati bikes, so
Of
that
course.
goes with the
Yeah.
work profile I have. But yes, I tried to learn riding on a scrambler in a professional way through professional guides, and that was a good thing because honestly, I have been into automobile market for past 2 decades
Yeah.
across companies, including two-wheeler manufacturer earlier. In fact, I started my automobile journey with a two-wheeler manufacturer only. So, but the way they taught me how to ride a bike, I never thought it would be the way. So that's actually on a personal level, that's a high for me. And riding a bike while standing up, so that was a high.
Now that's actually pretty cool, and it's just as well because I know for a fact that a lot of people in your position wouldn't, let's say, take that extra effort. So, good for you that you did that. Now comes the age-old question: does a Ducati, when you think Ducati in your head, does it have to be a red bike or a black bike?
Red.
You're with me on that. That's the reason I wore this shirt today. And your MotoGP hero, if there is one.
Currently, I would go only with Dovi because
No bias.
you see, there is no point in talking about anyone else. It's Dovi, and we need to look at Dovi as the podium finisher every time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly hope for that as well on your behalf.
Yeah.
What's this whole lockdown been like? I mean, for you in terms of what it teaches you. I think on multiple levels we've all learned so many things. But outside of the fact that you're speaking to your colleagues, you're doing all these work calls and video calls and things like that. What about the home front? I mean, is there something that you've been able to maybe take on now because you're cutting down your commute time at least? Maybe a hobby or activity.
Yes. Uh, in this working life, I really prefer to listen to my old song collection. So that was something which was missing out. So I'm catching up on that. Some reading I had left, so I'm catching up on some reading also. And then trying my hand in the kitchen as well,
And
because I'm not a accomplished chef as such, but yes, I can definitely tinker around in kitchen as well. That's what I'm trying to do.
is there a particular dish that you recently made you can tell us?
Yeah. Going in line with my Italian organization, I tried my hands at both pizza and pasta, and they turned out to be quite well actually.
That's nice. That's so. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
The part you mentioned about the old music, I can relate to that. So, who are your favorites?
In fact, I can listen to anyone in the bygone era. You name it, and I can listen to it. But yes, I am a bit partial to Mohammad Rafi. But all I can in my collection in my iPod will be having not less than some 15 to 20K songs,
Wow.
and
Wow.
they all belong to the older genre. So it's right from Kale Sagal, Shamshad Begum to Rafi Kishore, Mukesh, Manna De, Talat Mahmood, Lata, Asha, Suman Kalyanpur. You name it, I have it.
Wow.
Okay, so we got to check out your music collection and then maybe also sample some of
Yeah,
your pizza making skills, right? Once normalcy
definitely.
returns.
Any day, any day. You are invited to my Gurgaon place any day.
No, that's kind. And of course, I know all of us are really looking forward to that time when we can get out. And in fact, the other day on one of our shows, somebody asked me when was the last time that you went riding, and I was like, it's not
Mm,
like it's just the lockdown now. It so happened that even before the lockdown started, I had not gone
mm.
riding since I think it was December that I was last on a bike properly, like going out
Oh,
for a long distance. So yeah, I'm itching to do it. So maybe that's something else that we should get onto as well.
yes, yes. In fact, we had planned for a ride in the mid of February. I believe 18th or 19th February, I was all set to go out. And because of this COVID, we had to postpone that. And now we frankly don't know when the ride will come up actually. So that was a very nice opportunity in front of me to bond with some of the friends and colleagues, and that's gone now.
Yeah, well, I mean, so many of us had plans. They were all going differently until the crisis hit. Sorry to change tracks, but there are more questions that have come
Yeah.
in, and so I shouldn't ignore them.
Uh-huh.
There's
Yes.
one question about just electrification as a topic. Now, we're starting to see again, even in the premium biking space, even though it may not be as much as a priority as it is, let's say, on the car side, we're starting to see a lot of noises. What is the Ducati view in general, and then what's your view, with respect to how long it'll take for any of that to come to India?
As far as Ducati is concerned, we have no plans as of now to get any electric bike in India or anywhere. Actually, we are not
Yeah.
looking towards electric bike as such. We have definitely launched electric bicycles in Europe. So those are we are in collaboration with some of the people out there, and there is an MTB bike, there is a scrambler bike. So if you are out there in Europe, you can try some of them, and they are actually very cool to ride upon.
Yeah, well, I must tell you that a lot of your answers are getting a lot of favorable responses. People are appreciating some of the things that you've
Oh,
been saying, especially your views on
thank
motorsports
you,
as
thank
well.
you.
So there are, and in fact, as we start to wrap this up, I'm going to tell our audience that if they have any other last questions for you, they should go ahead and post them right now because, I know that we are almost running out of time here. But
Yeah.
Bipul, you got to tell me this that. While the uncertainty remains in terms of how many more days we're going to be locked in, even when the lockdown lifts, a lot of companies are talking about these new kind of work protocols. Maybe a large part of your work organization will continue to do work from home with very limited time spent in office. There's talk about shared workspace rather than having a cubicle or anything like that because you'll just kind of downsize all of that. TCS, I know, unrelated, but has announced that till 2025, 25% of its workforce will
Yeah.
now work from home. So, do you expect more such
Yeah.
announcements even in the auto industry? And is this something you have given any thought to already?
As far as auto industry is concerned, you see, the situation is we are into a contact kind of working.
Yeah.
Software is something wherein you have a laptop and that's everything you need to. But in automobiles, if you are going into a factory, then you need people out there to run the factory, or you cannot run a factory. If you're retailing, then you need to have people at the dealership. Well, there is definitely an increase in the digital framework, and as in fact here I need to share that on a global level, we have seen large scale growth in our digital platform. And in Europe and other locations, there are many people who are now ordering their bikes digitally. We have a configurator where you can try and you can put up your entire bike up to your choice, and the dealerships are there where they will deliver the bike. They will take the payments, everything, and it's the entire transaction is contactless. We are not up to that stage in India, but I am sure the way we are progressing, India will also reach up to that stage. So till the time we are out there, we need physical dealerships to sell the bikes. We need contact between humans to uh, make the bike or the features understanding to the other customer. And in India, you see, we have a tremendous approach or tremendous affinity towards touch and feel of the vehicle, whether it's a two-wheeler or four-wheeler. Unless the family comes to the showroom, they touch the vehicle, they sit into the vehicle, or they ride upon the vehicle. So unless there is a touch and feel, the bike or the vehicle buying experience never complete.
Yeah.
So these things will take time. The
But would
thought
you move
process,
some of the,
habits, they take time to change.
but would you move some of, let's say, the bookings or at least some of the configurating, some of that are online because, like you said, some amount of that fear might still remain, so that at least you would minimize some of that contact. Is that something that you're considering?
Sid, we already have those things online.
Yeah. But
So
will you push
even in
that?
India, if a customer wishes to use configurator, he can use. Our entire pre owned vehicle business, which we call Ducati approved, is online. So if you wish to see the stock of approved bikes or pre-owned bikes of any dealership, you need to go to their site and you can visit all those. You can see all those bikes online. You just need to go to the dealership to take the delivery, or if you wish, we can deliver the bike at your place also. That's something which is to be discussed and decided upon between two individuals, the customer and the dealership. Otherwise, as per our business model, even in India, you can configure your bike, you can order your bike, you can look at your pre-owned bikes, you can talk to our people. There are phone numbers, there are social handles of the dealerships also. So we are digitally available in India as well. It is only a matter of putting those things into practice.
I smiled when you
From
were.
the side, we are ready.
I smiled when you were answering because you kind of segued into my next topic, which was going to be about the approved business. The fact that there's so much talk about an increase now in personal mobility that's likely. And I get it. Of course, yours is not a commuter brand. But having said that, it's an aspirational
Yeah.
brand, and a lot of people who may have had the plans to buy, let's say, a new one, might consider buying now a used one. Do you see? I know you don't have a very
Yes.
large sort of parking lot there, but still, would you expect there to be an increased interest, therefore, in the used, certified, approved bikes?
Yes, yes. We are definitely looking positively towards this. And as of today, uh, we have small success in this department. And in the times to come, we are looking at increasing this business into a big way, because there would be certain customers who would wish to shift from their BS4 to BS6 bikes from the so. We are poised and all set to take benefit from this pre-owned business, and we are ready. So every dealership in India is ready for this business, and we have bikes, pre-owned bikes with them, and the facility with them. So there is an entire process behind it which we follow. It's called Ducati certified. There are, for Ducati bikes, there are 35 checkpoints which our service team checks and certifies that, well, this bike is now ready to be sold as or sold as a Ducati certified bike through our pre-owned Ducati approved channel. So we are our process is ready. Our dealerships are geared up. There are people to take care of this kind of business, and we are all set, ready to welcome our customers.
Okay, that's exciting to know. And I would, in fact, get back to you maybe in a few weeks' time to figure out, once the lockdown lifts, whether there is a
Yeah.
significant sort of surge in that inquiry and therefore business. An interesting question that came in from Parth just now, and Parth, I hope you're still watching. He just asking about where is the biggest Ducati store in India, which is the biggest dealership. I don't know that either, so I should ask you.
That's a very tricky question, because it depends what actually means biggest,
Yeah.
whether it's showroom or service or parking lot or whatever. So there are, in fact, there are many dealerships who qualify for the biggest tag on different parameters.
Just
So
just name a few that are impressive, I
difficult to
suppose.
answer, but yes, I would say that in Delhi we have one of our newest dealerships, and that's India's first air-conditioned workshop. So that's a very big plus with that, and I'm sure if you're in Delhi, then you must visit that setup. That's a nice one. Then we have all our setups are actually at prominent locations and very good, well laid out, made as per the Ducati standard. So going to any of our locations, we have got 9 dealerships across the country, and going to any of our dealerships, I am sure it's a pleasure for our customers and a pleasure for our team also to welcome all of you.
All right. Well, I can tell you that it has been a pleasure for us to be talking with you today, for sure, Bipul. And I could go on,
Same
and
here.
I know that we're done with our 1 hour allocated time. So I'll start to wrap
Yes.
it up. Preetham, thank you also for jumping in and joining us with your questions and participating in today's episode. So I think we'll leave it with one thought, and Bipul, I'll ask you this: that one thing that you would like to see happen really quickly, either from a policy perspective or from the point of view of the industry itself, to kind of help the current situation. And secondly, I think what you're looking forward to personally, maybe once the lockdown lifts.
See, on a policy basis, there are so many things which we can discuss and speak up about. But yes, my thought process is not and only for a super biking industry, but my thought process is for entire automobiles, whether it's two-wheeler, four-wheeler, or commercial vehicles also. Because fortunately, I have been a part of all these business elements in my earlier organizations.
Yeah.
I have sold two-wheelers, I have sold passenger cars, I have sold trucks. So I am a jack of many. So here, I understand government must come out with certain policies for the removal of old vehicles from the roads.
Yeah.
So it's not only saying that getting your BS6 vehicle on the road is the mantra to tackle all the vehicular pollution on the road. All the old bikes, pre Bharat stage bikes, the BS1, BS2 kind of vehicles, whatever we have, there should be a viable and feasible policy to take care of all those bikes,
Mhm.
not only bikes, all those automobiles, so that we get a clean air that way. The share of vehicular pollution may come down through that policy. That's one thing. Second, we must understand, and it's my request to the all the powers to be, that we must understand that automobile industry is one of the important pillar of the entire economy. Directly or indirectly, we imply lakhs and crores of people. It is not only about giving luxury to people, it's about giving mobility to people. And especially in coming back to my company and my segment, we should not always be treated as the luxury and the sin good. After all, this sin good is giving you the largest share of taxes, whether it's the GST or the RTO tax, whatever.
Yeah.
So we should be considered as a collaborative people towards the betterment of the economy, and together we can go further miles. But if you consider automobiles to be all the to represent all whatever is wrong, then it's not the fair thing.
Yeah. No, and I know that that has been the prevalent view of late, especially. So we hope for better sense to prevail. And the points you make
Yes.
about scrappage, I mean, can't be reiterated enough. So absolutely bang on. And we're certainly hoping that one of the measures that comes out of this is not just a policy on scrappage, but also a proper plan to incentivize people. Because otherwise, they're
Yes.
going to find loopholes, and they're not going to really be. There's not going to be proper scrappage. Let's just say,
Correct.
how you
Correct.
define the age of the
Earlier, what
vehicle.
happened? I'm sorry, I'm coming in between.
No?
Earlier, what happened when you asked people from Delhi to take off their vehicles off the road? Then all those vehicles went into the hinterland,
Yeah.
and they were getting being plied over there. So somewhere or the other, the location of the pollution changed, but the pollution never left India. With the scrappage policy, we intend to take off those vehicles from the road so that we are done away with those kind of pollution. That's important.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just shifting it from one place to the other. Absolutely right.
Yes. Yes.
Vibhul, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you today and to also learn from you what all is going to be happening at Ducati. Very cool T-shirt, by the way. And like you said, once things are better,
For
of
that,
course.
you need to meet me actually.
I was about to say, once things are better, we have to meet soon. So absolutely, you have my word. And we'll of course keep in the meanwhile keep bothering you with our queries and questions. It's great to have you answer so many questions for so many people as well. So I really thank you on their behalf too, and all the best to you, your family, and also the Ducati family to sort of get through this crisis safely from here on.
Sure. Many thanks to you, Siddharth and Preetham as well. And my sincere thanks to all our viewers who have patiently sat through our conversation and gone through everything and asked questions also. I hope I have been up to the mark. I have been, or rather, I have tried to answer all the questions as truthfully as I could. So I hope we shall continue with this conversation later on. And my wishes to all of you, to Siddharth Pritam, and to all the viewers whom I cannot see actually, stay home, stay safe, and let's catch up some other time.
Look forward to it. Stay safe as well, and thank you. Bye, Vipul.
Right. Bye bye. Thank you. Thanks all. Ciao.
Ciao is absolutely apt, isn't it? Because Ducati, quintessentially Italian,
Yeah.
and that, of course, was Bipul Chandra speaking to us. He is a relatively new MD, you could say, because he took over just in January, as he was saying. And it was great to hear from him on what's happening at the company, and also, of course, all the various measures and ideas that are being looked at for the current crisis and then the way out of this crisis. Now, all of you who are watching, I have something for you, so don't leave just yet. Even though we've said goodbye to Bipul, we have to talk about our contest because, as I promised, today is Wednesday. It's the day I will announce the winner of one of our contest questions. But you know what? There's still more prizes up for grabs, so hang on. I'm going to tell you who the winner is. But a quick reminder for those of you who still haven't entered the contest, here are the details.
Log on to carandbike.com/freewheeling and answer a simple question. 3 lucky winners win a 2-night 3-day stay at any domestic Club Mahindra resort. Not just that, at the end of the month, all correct entries are eligible for the grand prize of an all-expense-paid 3-night 4-day trip to Dubai or Singapore. So, keep freewheeling. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so that is it, and how you can do that, just as that promo there showed you, is to simply go to our website. There you go, carandbike.com/freewheeling. Answer the questions, they're really simple, and enter your details so that we can hopefully handpick you as the winner. So the way it works, by the way, is that for all of you who enter, those who give the right answer, obviously, there's a lucky draw, and that's one thing. But remember that if you've been answering all questions correctly and you still don't get announced as a weekly winner, you still have the chance to be the monthly winner, as you heard there, for the overseas trip. And so that's something to look forward to. And now, let me see. I think this thing allows me to do a bit of a drum roll if I can find that little effect. Yeah, something like that. Maybe let's see if I can just do this one. Okay, that's not quite what I was going for, but I think without wasting much more time, here then is the winner. There you go, Chetan. You've been watching, I think, and so from the Gaurav Kapoor episode, our winner from Bangalore is Chetan, and so at least I can do that, right? At least I can give you an applause. Chetan, I hope you're watching, and please do go ahead and react if you are watching, because we're very happy to announce you as the winner of our second week. And so for that answer that you gave, for the answers that you gave during the Gaurav Kapoor episode, most welcome. I'll even play another little sound for you. Thank you, Chetan. I can see that you're here and you've seen it. So I hope that is you, because it just, it shouldn't be somebody else named Chetan. But I'm pretty sure it's you, because, you've been here regularly watching as well. And so many congratulations. There was a question about the webinar that we're doing. That will not be here. So that's happening on Zoom. And so if you've seen my tweet about the webinar and if you are planning to participate, then of course you have to just follow that link and you'll see the details. We're doing that in association with Grant Thornton, the consultancy, and the Knowledge Powerhouse. And so we're looking forward to really going through a lot of interesting discussions. This is very industry focused, so it's not sort of fun, but it will be something which points to what will be happening from here on in the automobile industry specifically, and not just overall on the corporate landscape. All right, so congratulations again to Chetan. And remember, just like Chetan, if you want to win, then you just simply have to go to our website. There you go. Once again, a reminder, carandbike.com/freewheeling and enter the contest. Yeah, please do it because, you have a chance to win. And of course, you only travel once it's safe to travel, like I've been saying. In the meanwhile, any feedback, any comments, any reactions, any questions, anything else you want to ask me or say to me, that's how you can reach me on Twitter or on Instagram. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for participating and being the audience today. And it's great to have all of you. I hope you liked today's session with Ducati. We have more coming up for you. In fact, I'll tell you what. If you hang around just for a quick second, I'm going to try and pull up for you the little promo of what exactly is coming up. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to quickly ask you if any of you have any questions for me. You can ask me now. I'll be very happy to answer them because I know many of you have questions about the industry and about products in particular. So yeah, now's your chance to ask me in case you want. Chetan, I hope you can travel soon enough, and I hope you're looking forward to enjoying that little holiday and that little bit of a break that's coming your way. I certainly hope, like I said, that you can travel soon enough. But remember, travel protocols, we'll have to adhere to those very strictly. But you will get the details from our team very quickly in terms of your actual prize, and so not to worry about that at all. Okay, and I am just now going to try and bring in, well, trust technology not to cooperate just when you want it to. All right, be patient with me. I am going to try and bring this up for you as quickly as I can. All right, in the meanwhile, like I said, I don't know if oh yeah, okay, now suddenly I've got updated messages. How am I spending time at home, says Chetan? A lot of work, actually. Surprisingly, most of us on the team, in fact, will tell you that we are doing longer work hours from home. And then, you're trying to sort of balance that out with home work. So there's lots to do, lots of cleaning, cooking, and then, of course, comes all the writing and some of the videos. It's all happening remotely, don't forget. It's much easier for us when we're in the office environment, all working together. It's a little difficult to be able to coordinate this way. But you know what? I mean, that's just the way it is. So we have to sort of suck it up and do it. But it has been really tough. It's been kind of long as well. The whole process has not been that easy, I can tell you. And most of the team is working long hours. And remember, we're all working in different locations as well. So yeah, what are you going to do? I think that's part of the drill, and you have to sort of make do with, you get lemons, you make lemonade, as they say. 10-year city rule in particular, Karan, I think, honestly, I'm not opposed to the idea of having these kind of rules, but vehicle life in general should be defined very clearly and then should be backed up with a scrappage policy. So, yeah, if we can get a scrappage policy in place, the one we were just talking about as well, then things will be better. So, I think we need to see that happen for sure. Okay, now, are you guys ready? Are you ready? I am very excited about this because not only do we have an exciting guest for you on the show tomorrow, but it is also a massive exclusive for us here at carandbike and indeed Freewheeling. So here is my guest who's going to be on the show tomorrow. So the chief designer of Kia Design America, who works out of Los Angeles, will be with us tomorrow, and that's at 9 p.m. I am looking forward to it. The reason it's going to happen late is again because we are coordinating with someone who's on the West Coast in the US. So please join in for that, because it's going to be huge. It's exciting. Tom was here in India last year for the Seltos debut as well, so he's kind of familiar with our landscape. And then the Seltos, that's another huge US model. It's not just an India model, remember. So he and his team have had a lot of inputs on that one too. So there's plenty to discuss with Tom Kearns. And of course, the World Car winning Telluride will be top of that list. So definitely join in for that. I'm super excited about it and really looking forward to that interview and that interaction. Definitely join with your questions, because I'm sure it's going to be a fun chat. So finally got that promo up for you, and I hope you're as excited as I am. I will see you on that then tomorrow. And in the meanwhile, keep freewheeling. Please wear your helmets and your seat belts, depending on what you're riding or driving, when you do step out, if you must step out. And of course, wear your mask. It is now the must-have fashion accessory. Please stay safe, take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.